Alright, hello once again, guys. It's Taylor Cocke. I'm here for another Hearthstone deck test. Today we're going to try out StrifeCros NZoth Paladin, the Paladin control deck that he's been playing with as the season and the new expansion has been getting going. So let's give it a shot, see how things go. Now, StrifeCro is obviously just off of his win at the Soul Cup Hearthstone World Invitational, which is a huge win for him, but that was in the Wild format. We're now in Standard, so he's really trying to figure out some new decks. I've been really enjoying this deck. I'm a control player by nature, so I've been really sort of enjoying this late game deck that I've been playing with here. It's got a lot of good interactions, a lot of fun stuff to mess around with. The thing about this deck that I've noticed is no opening hands look that great. So you look at this opening hand like, I don't know. You got to really consider who you're playing against here. So I'm going to throw back the Solemn Vigil. I'm going to keep the concentration, the Wild Pyromancer, just because I think against this Druid here, I'm going to need a little bit of board clear. So hopefully that works out for me. Humility is an interesting card in this deck. It only runs one of them, as you can see on the list on the side. It's something that is typically, I'll use it sort of late game if they have a big old minion that I just need to really try to slow down. Then I'll drop it then. This deck also tends to not really play anything turns 1 or 2. So turn 2, more often than not, I'm hero powering to get a Silverhand Recruit. Maybe, hopefully, make a trade somewhere, but for the most part, I'm playing much more slowly than I would in a traditional mid-range or aggro deck. Now I'm realizing, as I'm speaking, I am playing against a Druid here, so perhaps dropping a 1 health minion isn't the smartest move because that happens. So again, why not? Let's just see if we can get some trades here. I don't mind losing health too much. We do run Forbidden Healing. There are 2 of them in the deck. This card is nuts for in control Paladin. There's a Ragnaros Lightlord in here for more health. There's a Lay on Hands. There's all sorts of stuff that is capable of really making sure that you stay alive. I was actually running a different list of this deck earlier that ran 2 Lay on Hands. I liked it. I thought it felt pretty strong to me, but I am curious to see, as I play with this deck more and more, curious to see what StrifeCro knows that I don't, because I'm sure he knows something. I'm gonna drop this True Silver Champion here. You sort of use it as a bit of a removal spell. So the way I like to think about True Silver, especially in this deck, is it's a 4 mana removal spell basically that usually you're going to lose a little bit of health, but not as much as you normally would for using a weapon in another class. So this card is definitely not supposed to be used in an aggressive manner in this deck. It's definitely focused more on making sure that you have board control and not really worried about your opponent's health too much, or really your health too much. So the question now is this value? Dropping the Spellbreaker to silence and then kill it off. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. So now I've got a little bit of board pressure. He's only got a 1/1. I've got a 4/3. I'm in a pretty decent spot here. I would like to see an Equality come out just in case, so we can use that with either Consecration or my Wild Pyromancer. Equality plus Wild Pyromancer is an extremely powerful board clear, whereas Equality plus Consecration, there's that Scarum. Cultist. Not the best draw in the world, but that's okay. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. Just drop that. See, you want to use your kill a minion as fast as possible in order to get a cheaper Solemn Vigil. It's okay. Okay, that's fine. I'm totally cool with those draws. Like I said, I do have 2 Forbidden Healings in my hand, so I'm not worried too much about taking damage sort of in the early to mid part of the game. I'm really focused on finding the right cards, making sure that we have enough control to survive into the late game when I start dropping these ridiculous bombs. This deck runs Tyrion Forgery, which you can see in my hand. It does run Ragnaros Firelord, Sylvanas Windrunner, Sogoth the Slitherer, which is a card that is sort of seems like a pretty basic legendary. It doesn't do, it's not big and flashy, but it is extremely difficult for some of these more control decks to deal with. Oh, okay. That's gonna make life interesting. Still, I do not have my, I do not have an equality here, which is gonna make my life quite interesting. See, what I could do is drop the Doomsayer, sort of slow him down for a turn, make sure that I survive for at least one more turn, because he's really going to want to destroy that. I could. Here's a thought. See, I don't have enough mana for both. That's fine. I think what I'm going to do is drop the Consecration, kill off his Taunters, and trade my Spellbreaker into that. Go ahead and Humilitize the Cenarius. Drop another 1/1. Why not? Let's ping him in the face. Can't hurt. So yeah, you see, there's a lot of little interesting combat tricks that you can do. You got to really think about your turns beforehand. Make sure that you're making the correct play for that specific moment, because this, as with a lot of Paladin decks, whether it be mid-range or control or whatever it may be, a lot of these decks have a lot of different options once you hit the late game. Once you hit that mid-game, you can do a lot of different stuff. So it's definitely one of those decks that you have to think about every turn before you play it. So for example, right now I could just drop my Tyrian Forging. It's not a bad option. However, he does have 3 minions in the board, and if I drop my Infested Tauren and my Doomsayer, that's a nice little combination, making the Doomsayer much less likely to die. And also, if he doesn't kill off my Infested Tauren, I get a free 2/2. That's always nice. So I'm going to go ahead and plunk those guys down and see what happens. I don't want to pop a Forbidden Healing quite yet, because you typically want to get as much value out of that as possible, because it is such a valuable card, especially in this sort of matchup versus a different mid-range deck. You really want to stay ahead, or stay at the point where you can gain a whole bunch of life back. Make sure that you're as healthy as possible once you hit that late game state. Once you start drawing those big bombs, I'm definitely looking for something along the lines of my Ragnaros. I have my Tyrian in my hand. Eventually, I want to start drawing the N'Zoth. I can't believe he just allowed that to happen. Why wouldn't he kill off my? Huh, okay. Fine by me. I'll take it. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop my Tyrian. It's see if I can maybe bait out something. Especially because I don't want to drop my Sylvanas quite yet. Oh, there's the Cthulhu. Okay. That was interesting. Now we're in a spot. I really wish I had that equality right now, because I would 100% Pyromancer. Let's think here. So what I could do is I could attack Tyrian into him, and hit the Cthulhu with my weapon, and then gain a whole bunch of life back with Forbidden Healing. That is certainly an option. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. That seems like a nice little play. See, and what's nice is I can do this because now I'm at 1 HP, but who cares? Now I'm at 21. Hooray! Thanks, Forbidden Healing. So yeah, this deck, like I said, it has a whole bunch of options like that. You can do all kinds of different stuff. Really get creative with some of the ways that you play. The Acolyte of Pain is a nice little option. There's only one of them in the deck, but it is nice if you draw it early against sort of a more aggressive deck. I kind of dare this guy to play whatever he wants. Oh, okay, that's interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of different options. I was again, this is another card that I severely underestimated. Corrupted Healbot is extremely strong. It's a 5 mana 6/6, which is a really good stats. I thought initially that it was going to need to be a little bit cheaper in order to be a little bit more viable, but in this control deck where you truly do not care about your opponent's HP, until the very, very end of the game. It's a nice little option to really gain some board control. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and drop Sir Finley Murgleton, see what I can find here. That's actually perfect. That's what I wanted. The question is, okay, so I'm thinking for this turn I could kill the 4/6 with my weapon and a Fire Blast, or I could start getting I could start armoring up. I don't really care too much about the armor because this deck has so much healing in it. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my Fire Blast. Drop a heal bot. Go to the face. Ping this guy here. Not to the face. I'm gonna go ahead and smack that guy. So see now, once again, we're in a good spot. This deck has a ton of different options to make sure that you're in a solid spot for the late game, and it has a ton of board clear. Like I said, it has 2 qualities. It's got two Doomsayers, 2 Wild Pyromancers, 2 Consecrations, the whole deal. This deck can deal with just about anything provided it's given enough time. Okay. There's my Lay on Hands. I would love to, again, I would love that equality. If I could just go ahead and draw that, that would be great. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and do this. Smack him. And Lay on Hands myself, get myself back up to myself. So there's my equality. See, if I played the Lay on Hands first, I would have drawn the equality, but not had enough mana to cast the Wild Pyromancer or whatever else I need. So that works out for me. See, what I'm secretly hoping for is that he plays a whole bunch of minions. I want him to just empty his hand of minions, so I can go ahead and Wild Pyromancer into quality, wipe his board, maybe get my True Silver out, maybe drop an Infested Tauren, Sylvanas, you know, anything like that would be really nice. All right, that's fine. I like that. That's what I like to see. Now, if I can get one more minion out of him, that would be ideal. I don't think he's gonna do it. Okay, that's fine. Oh, Sloggoth. Hey, buddy. So yeah, this is a really, again, really solid spot to be in. I'm gonna go ahead and Wild Pyromancer into. Do I want to draw a card? Yeah, that's the quality of this. All right, so it's a nice little place, nice little spot. I'm gonna go ahead and Infested Tauren just to make sure that I don't get hit with anything charge. I don't think that his deck plays any charge, but it can't hurt to play it a little bit safe. Again, I still have that second Forbidden Healing in my hand, so if I get into trouble here, I can pump myself up by 20 HP. If I see this deck in the ladder and I'm playing a more aggressive deck, it tilts me out of my mind. I can't I can't quite handle how annoying this deck is. Okay, that's totally cool with me. Cool. It's my turn now. Let's drop a wow. By the Holy Light indeed. There we go. Sometimes you just gotta drop a little wow just to let them know that you're still there. Huh. The way I could do this, if I didn't want to take too much damage, I could drop the Outer Peacekeeper into True Silver and then kill this. And then also on top of that, my Tauren would live. Yeah, I mean, and then next turn I can start dropping the Soggoth. I don't want to drop him. I mean, it doesn't really matter when I drop him, but it is nice to be able to have him as a backup plan. I'm gonna ping the 2/3 just so if he wants to trade it into the Infested Tauren, it dies. See, so yeah, you're really thinking a turn or two ahead with this deck. It's not your typical aggro deck. It's not your typical mid-range deck where you can establish board control and just continue going to the face. you really have to think about how deep into the game you want to go. You really want to find those bombs, make sure that everything is going to work out for you in the long run. So really consider every turn going forward. And if you do that, this deck can really climb you the ladder. It can really respond to just about anything. Pretty much the one thing that it loses to is if you get up against a hyper-aggressive aggro deck that gets a lot of stuff, and you don't draw those board controls. You don't draw that consecration. You don't draw the wild Pyromancer. You will get into trouble pretty quickly. And sometimes you can get to the point where you don't have the Forbidden Healing either. It's very draw dependent. So it can definitely get you into trouble if you're not careful. All right, so he's gonna continue. This is unsurprising. He's gonna continue to try to burst me out before I. Oh, hi. That does make life interesting now, doesn't it? I do have that equality, so I can just kill it without losing any HP. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I will lose a little bit of pressure with my dudes, but yeah, it's basically they lose 3 health overall. Not the hugest deal in the world. Go ahead and drop. Might as well drop my Sylvanas at this point, just to sort of get into the swing of things. Next turn, if he hits me with anything, I'm probably going to Forbidden Healing. If he doesn't, I'm going to Sogoth. Corrupted Healbot is an option there. There's a lot of different options that I can take next turn. If I just Forbidden Healing next turn, I'm back up to 30. Why not? That'll be, I will have gained what? So I gained 16 and then 8, so 24. I will have gained 44 HP throughout this game. Okay, swipe. Not a bad little. That's fine. Okay, so he's gonna kill off my Sylvanas before he drops anything. And he's not going to drop anything. So I think the play here is to go ahead and play my Slogoth. I don't know how to pronounce that guy's name. And then pass the turn. See, I still haven't drawn my Ragnaros. I still haven't drawn my NZoth. My NZoth would be actually really crazy in this deck. Crazy. I have 6 cards left, so 2 of those. Oh, and there's a Harrison Jones in here. So yeah, 3 of those 6 cards are legendaries, right? Yeah, 3 of those 6 cards are legendaries. Those are your bombs. Those are your late game options. So ideally, he's out of gas. Ideally, he doesn't have anything left in order to really gain any more control over this game. And that's fine. I am totally cool with running out of cards in this deck. I'm totally cool with going into fatigue, just because there is so much healing available. And just Scarum Cultist. Okay. Harvest Golem. So he can kill. Oh, there's my NZoth. Okay. Hi, buddy. How are you? So I think this might be a concede-worthy effort on his part. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and drop the NZoth. Hello, friend. So this is kind of probably unbeatable on his end. I would not be surprised to see a surrender out of him right now. I'll go ahead and kill this thing off. I don't think he has any way through this, just because this Divine Shield is pretty good, and this guy has. Yep, there you go. So there you go. That's StrifeCros NZoth Paladin. I'm really happy I drew the NZoth because it is a really powerful and awesome effect, especially in a deck that runs this many Death Rattles. Obviously, there's a Death Rattle Rogue, which has been seeing some play on the ladder, but this deck is extremely powerful, provided you play it correctly, provided you take it slowly, play your healing cards on the right turn, make sure that everything is at the appropriate moment. Obviously, it's quite slow, so it does have weaknesses there. I think it does not play. Sir Finley Murgleton is its only 1-drop, so that's fun, unless you count Forbidden Healing, which I don't. So anyway, yeah, there you go. There you have it. There's StrifeCros NZoth Paladin. Thank you so much for watching Hearthstone Deck Test. This is Taylor Cocke for Yahoo Esports.